Alright, this was unexpected, but we got more Dualmajestar support with a new form of Astroea, so let's begin. So we start out with Twilight Mage Ilia. It's a grade 1 way, get power in the skills. Auto when placed on rearguard, if your Vanguard is Dualmajestar, choose a trigger unit from your drop zone and put it to soul. A lot of Dualmajestar cards already do this, so it's not like you really need more of this, but the second skill is also quite useful, where auto back or rearguard once per turn when your unit in the same column as the unit stands by card ability. If your Vanguard is Dualmajestar, you can soul blast 1, stand this unit. You have so many ways to put cards in soul that this is not really much of a cost. Extra booster is also very nice. It's just, do you have the space to run this? I'm not pretty sure, but it's still not too bad to run. And then Archery Chimera, which is grade 3 protecting power, and the skill is auto when placed on rearguard. If your Vanguard is at least a grade 3 Astroea, put a card from your hand to soul to draw a card and plus 5k power in the end turn. Just like the other Chimera that is a grade 2, it basically lets you filter out your deck, but this one lets you put a card directly from hand to soul, which can be very helpful in many cases because it could even be a crit, which is actually Astroea's playstyle. But in this case now, you could even put Astroea cards itself, because this new Astroea can also use herself as part of the costs. And what makes this card even better is the second skill, where Count Rearguard Guardian. If you have at least one card in the bind zone that is either Astroea or crit, plus 10k, and if your total is at least 3, also gets intercept. So 10k shield and an intercept is also pretty nice for a grade 3, but mainly it helps you set up as well. So I don't see a reason not to run this actually, especially since now you're going to have more space, because of course you're not really going to run Masque anymore. And now to the new evolved Astroea that is not Masque, Dualmajestar. Astroea Bico Stellar. And yes, it still counts as a regular Dualmajestar unit despite the name being combined as Dualmajestar. But anyway, it's a grade 3 with the power and the skill is auto Vanguard. At the start of your main phase, if you do not perform a ride this turn, discard a card from your hand, choose a card with the same card name as this unit from the bind zone and ride it as stand. If you rode, activate Persona Ride. This actually kind of correlates with the second skill, because like I said, you can actually use Astroea cards as basically part of your crit cost now. But anyway, the second skill is the main skill, where auto Vanguard. When this card attacks, costs Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 3, bind all the crits and Astroea units that were Soul Blasted for the cost, and then it performs all the following abilities depending on how many of these in the bind zone. So if you have at least 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it, and your whole front row gets with 5k. If you have at least 3, this unit gets crit plus 1 and drive plus 1. At least 5, choose one of your rearguards and stand it. And once again, as a reminder, it does count as standby Dualmajestar skill because it is still Dualmajestar in name. So overall, it's kind of like the original Astroea Unica combined with the Bico Masque, because it basically has both skills with the basically segmented skills plus 3 standing rearguard, just without the power stacking on the rearguard. But also in a way a little more consistent, because now you can use Astroea units as part of the crits, meaning that you have even more units for the count. The only thing is you're not really going to run Masque anymore, because this one is technically better, but without the Masque you're not going to run the order card that lets you countercharge, so you do need to watch out for the counter blast. But in a way this is actually better because it's basically the original plus Bico Masque combined with a little more consistency, although the condition wise is a little bit harder because you need to go to up to 5, so that might be a turn 4 play right there. But overall I say it is a little better, and I definitely already love this new form of Astroea. So that's it for the new form of Astroea. What do you guys think of it? Overall, I kind of like it. It is basically Astroea Unica and Bico Masque combined, although in a way a little easier to perform too, because you don't need to just do crits, you can also use the Astroea forms herself, and also she can even Persona Ride herself from the bind zone, so that's another nice part. The only downside is that you're going to remove your main countercharger for the deck, aka the Masque countercharger, that is the order card, while also technically in a way losing your restand skill for your turn 3. But turn 4 onwards, you're probably going to have that restand skill, with an upside that you're going to have a lot of extra space now, which that extra space can also be very huge. But in that's it for this, and see you all next time.